In this video, I'm going to show you what trait is the best trait for different characters. And if you didn't know, then I'm hosting a giveaway and it's ending really soon. So if you want to enter it, then subscribe and watch the giveaway videos I've made. Before I begin though, I need to say that different traits can be better in different scenarios for the same characters. So there's no one best trait for one specific character. That's why I'm going to go over it as a general rule. But if you got that already, then we can begin the video. So what are traits even? So traits, if you go into the back section, click on a character, for example, let's take Diablo here, and then you can have this little GUI button right next to the character image. So here you can change your trait, and if you don't have a trait already, nothing will say. So traits are, like you can see here on the traits, for example, destruction traits, gives you different amount of substats. So destruction gives you the trait of having 9% more attack. So that's basically an extra substats. So compare a trait as an extra substat, basically. However, some traits also have 2 substats, but no trait actually gives you 3 different substats. Traits can give you HP and HP regen, you can get EXP and gold, you can get all the attacking subs and everything. You can get basically everything you can imagine with traits that you can get as regular substats. However, you cannot get boss lifesteal or mob lifesteal because those would be too OP. So you can get traits by either spinning with 80 trait tokens. So basically, if we do that, I got regeneration uncommon. Now they also have different tiers. So we got common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. No trait is at mythical yet. We don't know if there's going to be mythical ones, but there are no mythical traits yet. As you can see, on available traits, these are the traits you can get. So basically you can get 7 different traits, and all of them are available in all of the 5 different rarities. So basically common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. As you can see, regeneration, auspicious, and resolute, those traits actually don't benefit you in the way that you get more damage. You just get more HP, you get more EXP, or you get more HP regen, etc. But you don't get more damage, which is why you shouldn't try to get these traits. So for an example, I got regeneration, so now would be a good time for me to spin again. And now I got vicious, and vicious, as you can see here, gives you critical percents and critical damage. So like you can see here on the vicious uncommon, you get 2% more critical chance and 4% critical damage. Now that's basically all the information about traits. There are 7 different traits, 3 of them being really bad that you shouldn't try to get, and all of those 7 traits have 5 different rarities: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. You can get new traits by spinning with 80 trait tokens or just getting a 100% legendary trait with 400 gems. Every one of your character has a limit of 1 trait. So what I mean is that if I have S-Death and a trait on S-Death, but I don't have a trait on Gilgamesh or Broly, the trait will not transfer over. I can only have 1 trait on 1 character, and that trait is locked on to that specific character. It cannot go to another character. You must get traits individually, because traits are random and it's really RNG based, so you can never decide on what traits you can actually get. You will only get randomized traits, and that's why it's really important for you to know which traits are the best ones. However, like I said in the beginning of the video, you don't really have one specific trait that's the best for one specific character, because it can vary very much. Depending on the situation or what game you're playing, you can actually want to change traits, and since that's really expensive, usually I don't recommend it. So, if you want one trait for every single character and every single game mode, then Destruction is the way to go. Destruction gives you 9% more attack if it's legendary, and Destruction works on every single character. There's no game mode where Destruction is bad, but there are game modes where Destruction is really good. So if you don't have a lot of gems or trade tokens, then Destruction, that's fine on every single character. You don't need anything else on Destruction. However, there are better traits than Destruction for specific game modes. As a general rule, in Dimensions, the character you're using for Dimensions, for example, if you're using Kokushibo, you kinda want to have Speedster. Speedster gives you cooldown reduction, and that's obviously very good for Dimensions. For a character that's for raids only, you can actually benefit a lot from Vicious, because Vicious will grant you a lot of damage. Vicious is really good because it gives you 2 substats, 7% critical chance and 12% critical damage, and that's actually better than the 9% attack you get from Destruction. If you're playing, for example, Time Challenge as well, you can also benefit from Speedster. So, like Witch Megamin, Gilgamesh, Eren, Accelerator, all of them can greatly benefit from using Speedster because they're good in Time Challenge. So Executioner gives you 6% more mob damage and 9% more boss damage. Now, that's actually really good. However, just as they say, it's 9% boss damage and not 9% mob damage, so Destruction is going to be better for most game modes because Destruction affects both of them. And one downside with Executioner is that boss damage doesn't affect your regular M1 clicks, so whenever you click your mouse button. So when should you actually use Executioner? For an example, you should be able to use Executioner if you're using a character where you're barely using your M1 clicks. So take Eren for a great example. Eren doesn't really use your M1 click that often because he has his third ability. This means that he can greatly benefit from Executioner because Executioner, yes, it doesn't affect M1s, but if you're using a character that doesn't use M1s, then Executioner is fine. But most of the characters you should not be using Executioner unless you're really good with the other stats. Take Gojo for an example. Gojo uses a lot of M1s, so if you were using Executioner on Gojo, you would be losing out on a lot of damage. In conclusion, there is no specific trait that's the best one for a specific character, because it can vary a lot, but as a general rule, characters that you use for Dimensions use Speedster, as well as characters you use for Time Challenge. Those can also benefit from Speedster. Characters that you use for raids, boss rush and speed raids, you can use Vicious on, and characters that don't really use your M1 clicks, you can use Executioner on. Destruction is also a really good trait and can be used for every single game mode and is good for every single game mode. There's no character and there's no game mode that Destruction is bad for. Which is why, if you get Destruction, that's not a bad thing. You can actually use Destruction for basically everything as well. The reason why I'm using Executioner on a lot of things, that's because I have good stats of the other things, so Executioner benefits me a lot in all game modes as well. But Executioner will not benefit you as much as the other traits if you don't have good other stats. But yeah, Speedster for Time Challenge and Dimension characters, Vicious for raid characters. You could also use Executioner if you're not using your M1s a lot, but Destruction is the best trait overall. So basically, it works for every single character in every single game mode. It's just like the Titan Blade on accessories. Its attack, it's not really meta for anything specific. That's really important, but as an overall accessory, it's the best one. Same here. As an overall trait, it is the best traits.